Hello, welcome to the first episode of Nick Lenz's 101, where I talk about certain different things characters, artists, writers, stuff like that. In this first episode, I'm going to talk about Steve Ditko, the guy who gave us Spider Man, Doctor Strange, and a bunch of other characters which I'm listening. One, of course, is the Blue Beetle. This is Ted Kord. He created this character. He also created these other fallen characters. He created the first Captain Atom. He also created the Question, the Creeper, Shaded Changeman, the original one, Hawk and Dove, the original ones, and Mr. A. And a lot of his creations were used for the inspiration for Alan Moore's The Watchmen. So you can thank him for being for his characters being a template for the Watchmen characters. He's also known for creating certain popular villains, like he created the Green Goblin, he created Doctor Octopus. He practically created the characters known for being the original Sinister Six. He studied under Jerry Robinson, not James Robinson. This is a completely different person. The guy who did some early Batman work back in the 40s. He studied under him. Steve Ditko needs a lot more love that he deserves. So basically, when it comes to a lot of respect to him, because Dan Lee tends to take credit for everything, even though that Steve Ditko was the one who first drew Spider-Man. Now, no one can disagree that Steve Ditko co-created Spider-Man with Stan Lee. As a matter of fact, in every single Spider-Man film, it says Spider-Man, well, it says based upon the characters created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. He gets credited for this. I'm hoping to do the same thing when a Doctor Strange movie comes out in a few years. An example of his artwork. There you go. That's an example of his artwork right there. It's fantastic. Even though it's 60s style artwork, but give or take where you will when it comes to Steve Ditko. Now, what happened to some of these characters today? Well, Ted Kord recently showed up in New 52, but for 8 years he was dead when he was killed by Maxwell Lord. The Creeper has shown up now and again. As a matter of fact, the Creeper was actually in the Arkham Knight video games. He appeared in practically almost every single one except for Arkham Origins. Hawk and Dove, they recently showed up. They had their own series, part of New 52, but got canceled after 8 issues. Though the Dove character, the one that Steve Ditko created, he's been dead for years, and New 52 kept that canon. So at least just like Marvel respects his characters, DC does respect his characters. They acknowledge they exist. But Ted Kord, he's a guy in his early 20s, and he is just in college. And Ted Kord's father. This happens like at the end of Forever Evil, Forever number 7. So you can credit the New 52 version of Ted Kord created by Jeff Johns and David Finch. Okay, it's as simple as that. He basically hasn't done work for Marvel in years. A lot of his other known work he's done over the past, I'd say from the late 60s to about the mid 90s. He's done a lot of his work for Charlton Comics and DC Comics, giving a lot of creative input to some of his creations. As a matter of fact, the Creeper, one of Steve Ditko's biggest creations, got a revamp in New 52, where apparently he's not exactly like a split personality of Jack Ryder. Apparently he's a spirit demon, which I didn't mind that at all. I explained it in my free comic call last year. But otherwise, though, I'm glad of the fact DC still keeps his creations around. Despite the fact they revamped them, and they still keep who they really are, which I'm happy with. Unlike most creations, they just simply wipe them from existence, like they did with Black Lightning's daughters. Yeah, they retconned them out of existence. They kept Black Lightning around, but they made him young, and he has no kids, and there's no mention of his ex-wife. So give or take. But at least both Marvel and DC respect his creations. They don't outright kill them off and then forget about them. They keep them around. They branch them up. They give him books. They collect all of his work. So, give or take, if you want to read where you can find Steve Ditko's work, you can find him in the Marvel Masterworks for Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. You can find his stuff for DC collected in the Action Comics archives, the Steve Ditko Omnibus book, and the Creeper by Steve Ditko. That's where you can find his stuff. Otherwise, though, that's it. Stay tuned for the next one-on-one. Depends on what I do next. It could be a character, writer, or an artist. Or maybe a popular editor, okay? See you there. Bye.